everybody, back. Eric Brown, I'm back. I'm back again. Back to give y'all a little bit more about me and just to try to educate as much as possible. But today I want to talk about something kind of that it was quite traumatic for me because it was the first time I had been so close to death. Well, it wasn't the first time I had been close to death. It was the first time I've been close to death with one of my peers. And this was I was in like the 8th grade or whatever, Dunbar 7th and 8th grade center. And our quarterback then name was Willie O'Dear, man, Willie O'Dear. I was on the football team too, as a matter of fact. In fact, Willie O'Dear is the one that probably made me give up football because the coach had us line up on, during practice, they have you line up in two lines. And at one end of the line, guy gets the ball, the other end, the guy's supposed to tackle the guy running. Well, I happened to be the guy with the ball, and Willie was on the other end, and Willie was a pretty muscular dude, man, but he stuck me pretty hard. That's all I gotta say, man. It knocked the wind out of me, man. Shook me up. But long story short, man, tragically, Willie O'Dear ended up killing himself, man. He killed himself. At the time, it was over a girl that we went to school with, and it was sad, man, because it's almost like when we found out that he died that next morning. In fact, he committed suicide over the phone, in fact. He killed himself over the phone, or shot himself. And when we found out the next morning, man, it was just like this dark cloud that just rolled over our school, man. It was a very thick and painful dark cloud. I can't even begin to describe it. But again, this is the first time that I've lost a peer. Not family member, not, someone, a friend, anything like that. Someone we know. I'm talking about a peer, a high school, a friend, or someone you're fairly close with, same age, same, oftentimes same goals, same ideals, raised in the same environment, but when Willie killed himself, man, it was a sad thing. And when he killed himself, there also came time for the funeral. And I never forget, they let us go to the funeral home down the street for the funeral, but I didn't go, man. I didn't go because I'll be honest with you, for me, it was a fear of unknown. At that time, I don't think I had been to a funeral before. So in my mind, I'm trying to figure out what that even looked like. For some reason, man, I just couldn't do it, You rest in peace, Willie O'Dear, man. The reason I bring this up is because suicide is still prevalent in the Black community. Don't think that, people are not taking their own lives. It happens every day. In the military at one point, there were 22 veterans a day taking their lives. And I think that number's probably crept up somewhat. But who am I? So the folks that have that data know what that data looks like. Specifically with 2020, man, because a lot of veterans didn't have access to, meds for PTSD and treatments and all these group therapies and all this type of stuff for some of the trauma they went through. So they had to deal with the stuff at home. And I don't think a lot of them could deal with it. But yeah, suicides are prevalent in the Black community. So I ask y'all, keep an eye on each other, never think that someone is not capable of doing it. Trust me. There comes a point when a person just becomes numb to everything, man. They become numb to everything. And they begin to disassociate with things and disconnect from things. That's why you see folks who plan on doing suicides. Sometimes they'll give things away and just start trying to disassociate themselves from the world is what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. They're backing away from the world. And all the worldly possessions don't mean a thing to them, so they give them away. So it's just one of the things to look out for, It doesn't mean you give away your stuff, you're going to go and commit suicide. But it's certainly something to take into consideration. I take the subject of suicide very seriously. In the Air Force, I was a suicide monitor for the base, several bases, in fact. So I was the guy that actually monitor any attempted suicides, any completed suicides. I was also the guy that actually respond to suicides with the clinicians, psychiatrists, psychologists, and traumatic stress response team that I was on. So it's not something I wish on anybody, man. I don't wish that on anybody, but there's always another way. There's always another way. Always another way. Hell, if you can't call anybody else, hell, reach out to your faith leaders, or reach out to some of the resources within the community. Reach out to family, reach out to friends, man. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of folks out there, particularly at the grassroots level, that are working to combat the stigma associated with suicides and really trying to get people the help they need. Now, I do understand there's an issue right now that I became aware of. There's financial issues associated with it. Some folks just can't afford to get the therapy and things like that. And it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. I would think they put a priority on that, because you don't want all these people on the streets who probably would be better off in a mental health institution. You don't want them on the streets out there, right? But it's crazy the way America works, man. It's crazy. The amount of folks walking around here, man, that probably need to be in mental health institutions or somewhere getting high levels of care or any type of care. So, hey, let's look out for each other and know that suicide is not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to hide. It's not something that we shouldn't talk about. We should talk about it, because suicides are happening every day. Hey, man, y'all take care. Eric Brown, MOBO-Media. Bye-bye.